Hey guys, I'm Dejan Kovacevic. He's Chris Halleck. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. We just covered the Steelers beating the Bengals 34-12 here at Acrisure Stadium. They got the W. They got the points. They got a lot of things, and yet at the same time, it doesn't even begin to tell the story of what all happened here today.
A lot of stories within the story.
Yeah.
But the big story is obviously the offense was able, the team put up 34 points because the defense provided two of the touchdowns. Kyle Duggar picked 6, 74 yards. Pretty big impact there. And then James Pierre caps off a phenomenal day with the scoop.
Day 42 had.
With a scoop and score. Really puts the game completely on ice with that one. And then they hold, after getting completely just bent over a barrel by the Bengals last time around, they hold that Bengals offense to 12 points.
And then on the offensive side, Aaron Rodgers goes down with a left wrist injury. There's no updates on that, by the way. Mike Tomlin just told the room full of us that he acknowledged the obvious, that it's a left wrist. He had no prognosis. He had one conversation with Rodgers immediately afterward in which they just talked about the win, according to Tomlin. Mason Rudolph, who came in and had a successful effort to win this game, said that he also had no, we weren't asking him for a prognosis, but he just kind of volunteered it. He said, I don't really know anything. So nobody's thinking about who's going to be the quarterback in Chicago or anything like that, except you. I see right through you. This is exactly, look at them. Look at those guilty faces.
This is all that's going to be talked about this week. Whether Aaron Rodgers is, the only way it's not going to be talked about all week is if Aaron Rodgers, he's just ruled out. If Mike Tomlin comes to the podium on Tuesday and he says Aaron Rodgers is out and he's not playing.
He's not going to do that.
Other than that.
He has nothing to gain from doing that.
Nothing. So.
And it is a left wrist.
It is his non-throwing hand, but if there's a fracture there and if it requires surgery or what, there are a number of different.
Of course.
Yeah. So.
You do use the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, credit to Mason Rudolph. He came in, he did the job, wasn't asked to do a whole bunch, and didn't need to be effective or didn't need to be, extraordinary to be effective.
Now, you know what he did? And I just had a talk with him downstairs. But he came in, and his feet were a little happier than they were back in 2023.
Yeah.
And that's actually not him. That was him as a rookie. And once you saw he made that deep ball completion to DK Metcalf that got
negated for the OPI,
which was a
terrible call.
Horrible call.
Terrible call.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it still came with value to the Steelers because Mason felt it after that. He was like, yeah, I'm good. He told me, I'm good after that. Everything was all right. He also hooked up earlier on with Ramon Wilson, and then he started. Mason Rudolph, since he was at Oklahoma State, has been a downfield passer. It's where he has fed himself his whole life. As soon as he was able to do that, and one of the things that was interesting that he shared with me was that during halftime, after Rodgers looked at him and pointed and said, "You're in." Arthur Smith and Tom Arth sat around Mason and said,
"Oh yeah,
what do you want?
Yeah,
what do you want?" The playbook is the playbook, but there are plays that everybody likes. And Mason said, "All right, well, let's go over what you've used already that I like."
Yeah.
So this is all really fast, right? But then, if you'll recall, Chris, the Bengals had a really long drive.
Really long.
Time-wise.
Yeah, actual, not on the clock time, but, I swear it was maybe 40, 45 minutes of actual
ridiculous.
time.
But they used that, Mason said, as well. Let's go over this some more. They're sitting on those benches down there on the sideline going over it. And this is a question that I had for Mason, just about when he felt like, all right, I'm just here to play football. Let's just go. When you hit those passes that you're describing here to a DK downfield, you mentioned the other ones, including the one that ended up getting flagged back. Was that where you found, all right, I'm here, I'm all right now?
Yeah, I think it usually takes a few completions to get into the flow of the game and find a rhythm. But that big one to DK would have been nice had it not been overturned. But I was really proud of the way the guys. We had a couple of long, bad penalties backed us up, and we overcame it and got some points.
That would be your gateway Clipper getting ready to embark over to the South Shore. By the way, I'd be remiss if I don't point out a couple of things in this video for you. First off, our fountain's back, baby. It was shut down all summer long as they were installing LED lights. You can see the lighting that's around it right now. That is state-of-the-art. So you can come back. That was state-of-the-art stuff. That's part of the massive amount of money that's going into downtown over there, the entire Golden Triangle. But that's one part of it. I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention that this boat here that's leaving the shore here is headed over to the South Shore, the home of your Eastern Conference champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who are heading out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. To play for the USL Championship. Franchise has been around for a quarter century here and has never won. And we've got some friends over there, and we're wishing them luck. That's a different kind of football, Mr. Halleck. You had something you wanted to say about the other football we were talking about.
It's really cool because, like, when you have those situations on the sideline in which your starting quarterback gets injured, the offensive coordinator is always prepared for something like this, because when you have your play sheet, when you watch the game on TV and you see the head coach or the offensive coordinator, whoever it is, and they have that big gigantic play sheet that they're always covering their face with. There's always a section on that play sheet that has set calls to go to in case your backup quarterback ever goes in the game. So they're probably already going over that. He's like, all right, we're going to hit like these certain plays here.
They make it easy in advance.
Right. Yeah. And then whatever else from the game plan, because you've been part of the whole game plan the entire week, what else from the game plan can we go to that you're comfortable with?
Also, you had a half of football. And as Mason mentioned, one of the things that you need to do is say, which ones have we already used? Mason's not going to have that memorized. I mean, he's watching a game, but he's not going to off the top of that. Oh, yeah, they used this one. They used that one. He's not in the huddle. But he goes out there, Chris, and listen, one thing he's never had difficulty doing since his very first day of rookie camp, and I recall it vividly, he was barking these signals, and everybody, and everybody in the huddle is like, this is rookie camp, kid.
It's that cadence.
He's never had an issue with the cadence, that's for sure. And he went out there and he took over, and he did not have Jalen Warren to start out. We will get to the defense in a second here, but I feel like there are other nods to be had. In Mason's own words, he said twice, I was not touched.
Yeah.
Not touched. Now, you can give Mason some of the credit for that. He hung in there. The players know where he's going to be and all that other stuff. But I'm not about to take credit away from the offensive line. One player specifically got a call out from the head coach, and it was striking, and it was a powerful one. That was Spencer Anderson. Tomlin said there is a reason we introduced him with the offense, which they did for the first time. He is part of this. Yeah. This came from the head coach. Line had a good day. Kenny Gainwell had a good day. DK Metcalf came up with a couple of plays there in that second half. Yeah. When you're entering your second half against a rival and you don't have your starting quarterback and you don't have your starting running back, it can feel a little spooky, right?
It can, but I think, to your point on the offensive line and the job they did. I spoke with Troy Faltanu after the game, and one of the things that he said was, it's never a good feeling when you turn around and you see your starting quarterback on the ground injured.
Here's Troy right now.
I want to kind of pick your brain about like the difference of quarterback there, because Aaron has his style, the way he does his dropbacks and everything. Mason will do things his way as well. Could you notice any kind of difference? Because it seemed like the pocket seemed to maintain itself a little bit more consistently in the second half. What was your approach like collectively at that point?
Obviously, with a different quarterback there, you got to be mindful of how deep they are in the pocket. But Mason did a really good job of making sure that he kept things consistent, just like how 8 would do. He came in, slotted in, and we just had to make sure we were protecting our asses off for him. So make him comfortable, and he did a really good job winning us this game.
Hey guys, football is in full swing, and the Steelers did cover. And if you bet the under, you made the right bet, which hopefully you did on the FanDuel Sportsbook. And if
nobody bet the under.
Nobody bet the under on this game. Probably not.
Bet the under. Especially with the way those first 2 drives. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Meaning for each team.
Yeah.
Just like tennis. And we're going to be here all day.
It's going to be a touchdown fest. And yeah. It did not turn into that. But either way, if you're already looking forward to next week and trying to place your bets, well, it's time to check out the latest odds, features, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. So if you think the Steelers are going to cover the spread again, or possibly get a win going to Chicago, which is something they haven't done since 1995, then you lock in your bet today, because whatever your game, the FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, features, and specials, so you can join in on all the action.
Do bettors do that, Chris? Do they look into they don't usually win in Chicago? Doesn't that seem like such a nebulous historical thing?
I think sometimes maybe with certain opponents or certain places you frequent.
But they don't.
They don't frequent Soldier Field.
I've been there twice in my life.
That's the one thing that I want to tell people. Yes, they haven't won there since 1995, but I think they've played there twice since then.
That's what I mean. I think I've been there twice in my life. And it's not something that
I think it was
I would
09 and 17, I want to say. Or something like that.
The one was the anthem flap, which nobody needs to be
16.
reminded
I don't remember
of
what
here.
years it was.
But we're going to swing this to the defense, because they deserve, I believe, the lion's share of the credit for this one. I thought you saw more contributions than you were going to be able to count watching it live. Just now I had a quick talk with Patrick Queen downstairs. But by the way, you PQ haters, and you know who you are, all week long.
Not allowed to talk.
All week long, okay? You know who you are. This guy played. He played out of his mind.
That was his hair on fire, yeah.
And as I said that to him, and he goes, how about 42?
Oh, yeah.
He goes, 42 is a baller. And I said back to him, I said, isn't it the case in the National Football League where there's a guy on either side of the ball who just shows up at some point in the season? It's not necessarily going to be some rookie or whatever. It's going to be somebody that was there all along. When I asked Mike Tomlin about James Pierre, I said, has he shown you something over the course of the year? And he looked at me, Tomlin did, and said, years. Meaning he just keeps getting better, Chris.
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, it has provided stability in the secondary. Not just, I think we also need to give a shout out to Kyle Duggar, too. Not just because of the pick six, but what he's done coming in. But Pierre coming in, Slay being out with a concussion. Even for for however you feel about Darius Slay's performance so far this season, when your starting corner goes out, it's still something to be aware of. No matter who it is that's stepping in, even if you're like, I liked everything you've seen. It's one thing to like what you've seen from Pierre whenever he's pinch hitting, whenever he's coming in relief. To actually be the starter, that's a different thing. And for him to be the starter and to put that kind of performance out there.
And between him and Joey Porter to limit Jamar Chase and T. Higgins the way that they did, especially Chase.
Yeah.
When Tomlin was asked afterward what was the biggest difference defensively between the Cincinnati game and this one, he answered with 2 words, which I found really interesting. Safety play.
I mean,
and he's not just talking about Duggar; he's talking about somebody else that we have to discuss.
Yeah, so Jalen Ramsay, he played well. I mean, he was playing really well. He was taken away in the middle of the field. He laid a couple of hits in the middle of the field, let some people know that he was there. And there was a sequence there, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Tensions are building. Bengals are trying to fight back in the game. They're only down by 11 at that point. There's still plenty of time.
And him and Chase had been talking the whole game.
They had been going back and forth the whole game. And then they end up, and Ramsey described it, and we'll get to that here in a second. But it starts off with, matching unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. One play later, actually not even a play because the Bengals went up. They called timeout. And then after that, Ramsey throws a punch and
automatic ejection
he's
for
out.
2 unsportsmanlikes. As simple as that here. Here's what Ramsey had to say about that, at least through some of the beeps.
You spit on me, so it's up. I don't give a fuck about football after that, respectfully. I'm always going to be all for trash talking, stuff like that. I actually enjoy that part of the game. I think people know that. But, and that's what we was doing. I mean, after the first one, the first little thing, the play before, he tried to like crack block me or whatever. You know what I mean? I got up off that, and then we got up talking or whatever, and he snatched my mouthpiece off my face mask, and that's when I pushed his face mask, and then whatever, that was just a little scuffle. But the refs told us right there, like, hey, y'all chill, no more of this. Cool, so, you know, I'm knowing, like, no more, just talk shit, but let's keep it clean so everybody's staying or whatever. The next play, same, we was talking, which I'm cool with. And then, yeah, as soon as he spit, it was bad. Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about that part of it. So, I'm sure the NFL, they'll do their due diligence. They got 100 cameras out there. They can investigate. They can see everything. I just told y'all it's facts. First scuffle, y'all can see. Y'all go look at the video. He snatched my mouthpiece off my helmet, and we got into it. The next play, all they camera views, they should be able to pull it up and see that he spit. And then it's whatever.
Now listen, Ramsay is who he is, and this is a known commodity in all capacities when he comes to Pittsburgh. This isn't anything that wasn't in his DNA in Jacksonville and everywhere else that he's been. He is a fierce, often over-the-top competitor who will throw football to the wind, as you just heard him saying there in some pretty colorful language. Mike Tomlin did not accept this. Mike Tomlin did not approve this or excuse it or whatever terminology you want. He said we have to be smarter than that. We have to let it go. The game has to come first. So one would imagine that at some point or other, if it hasn't occurred already, there's going to be a conversation here. But can I be that guy? I'm going to be the only one, I swear, who even thinks this. Because I do a lot of hockey, right? Mm-hmm. This dude plays hockey. Still. Yeah. And you find somebody who you know you can get to.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're following me here.
I know where you're going.
Okay?
Yeah.
The one player on the Bengals you don't want feeling comfortable in this game is Chase.
Yeah.
And you know that going in. So if you're going to do this to him all day, and you're going to keep poking at him, and you're going to have him thinking, and who knows what it is that they're saying to each other, because we also saw Porter come in after the ejection and level Chase and then say all kinds of stuff and flex in front of him and everything. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's a way to neutralize or even eliminate a really talented opponent.
Listen, there are certain things in sports, and hockey is
They're not robots.
No, hockey's one of them. Football can be another one. But it's almost like, for you Penguins fans who know about this, it's almost like the Max Talbot fight in Philadelphia, where he does the and they're getting their butts kicked in that game. Now the Steelers weren't getting their butts kicked, but it's one of those situations where sometimes that's all it takes to get the team going, or to get and at that point tensions are rising and the Bengals are showing some sort of fight. They're moving the ball down the field.
Don't let them feel comfortable.
No.
The thing I kept saying in Cincinnati was this. It wasn't the 16 catches.
Yeah.
It was the 23 targets.
Yeah.
He could just run around like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, like it was the first day of camp.
Yeah.
And that was not acceptable.
No. But there was even a play later on, I want to say, where Chase caught a ball near the sideline and Porter was right there. Porter absolutely flirted with the line.
He did.
Probably went past the line in terms of what you can actually get away with in terms of what you do after the tackle. But messages were being sent. They were pushing back saying, listen, we're not going to lie down. We're going to let you know that we're going to be the more physical football team. And honestly, if you're a Steelers fan, that's what you want your team to do.
The one thing that we can, I think, universally take away from this football game is that your team played hard. Your defense played hard. Your offense played hard. I'm going to say this again. When your backup quarterback comes in and says, I didn't get touched, and that's because of how hard these guys were playing for me. It was happening in all phases. Yep. Kenny Gainwell played hard. We haven't spent enough time on this.
Great game for him.
And then that came up with Tomlin, and Tomlin jumps in and says, special teams tackle for him too. When we watched him in Philadelphia, we liked him as a football player. We liked him for everything that he does. There was a lot of that. One final point I want to bring up here, Chris, and that's related to the defense. We can talk about the secondary when it comes to these guys, but let's also be real here. The guys that we were maybe the harshest on for the criticism in Cincinnati and subsequently were the guys up front. They did get back there and force Flacco to move. They made him feel a little bit uncomfortable. It might not have been the sack totals that everybody likes. And
you don't always need that. You don't always need to rack up 5-6 sacks a game. But if you can make him feel uncomfortable, I mean, that interception to Duggar was just awful.
It was awful, but it was made by a combination of Nick Herbig and TJ Watt coming in like this for the sandwich. Did they get anything to show for it statistically? Nope.
No.
Unless you get like some PFF award for those, okay? But that's why that pass gets thrown. And that's something that was talked about downstairs as well. Full credit to Herbig especially, I thought, but TJ also came in there. I thought Y.A. Black had a really nice game up front. I thought he was making some penetration. Remember, Chase Brown ran all over these guys last time.
And he rattled off a couple of big ones in this one, too, but it wasn't as...
Yes.
Yeah. It was, like, he had the one really big run. He had a couple of other, kind of nice runs and everything, but overall, for the most part, they didn't allow the Bengals to build off of anything that they could do on the ground, and really in the second half, they kind of clamped down on that.
This was a good day for your football team. If you wish to portray it as something else, that is your right, but you're going to be wrong. This was a good day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For Chris Halleck, I'm Dejan Kovacevic, DK Pittsburgh Sports. You're going to get our app. That's what you're going to do next. DK Pittsburgh Sports is the name of the app. Go to your Apple, go to your Android, and then email me, dk@dkpittsburghsports.com for a massive discount on the premium level. See you guys tomorrow.